The hidden architect of influence. Master the unseen forces that shape your world. What if you could effortlessly steer conversations, command attention, and guide decisions without anyone even realizing it? Imagine walking into any room and instinctively knowing how to connect, persuade, and lead, not through force, but through a quiet, undeniable power. What if you could influence outcomes before a single word leaves your mouth, closing deals with ease, earning respect without demanding it, and inspiring loyalty in every interaction? Now consider this. How many times have you been influenced without ever sensing it? How often have you bought something you didn't truly need, agreed to something against your gut instinct, or followed someone's lead without questioning why? The astonishing truth is, influence is shaping your reality every single day. Every advertisement you encounter, every social exchange you navigate, every choice you make is subtly molded by unseen psychological forces operating far beneath conscious thought. The real question isn't whether you're being influenced, it's whether you understand how to wield that power yourself. This isn't just about learning the mechanics of persuasion. It's about mastering the varied game of human interaction. What you're about to uncover will forever alter how you perceive communication, decision-making, and the mysterious depths of human behavior. Decoding the subconscious mind. Here's a startling truth. The vast majority of your decisions, thoughts, and reactions unfold beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Neuroscientists estimate that over 90% of our cognitive processing occurs subconsciously. This means we act, react, and decide without fully grasping the underlying reasons. Why does this hidden processing exist? Because your brain, despite its immense complexity, is fundamentally a pattern recognition machine. It's built for efficiency, constantly seeking shortcuts, known as heuristics, to make rapid decisions without draining precious energy. These mental shortcuts are what allow us to navigate the world effortlessly, but they also expose us, making us remarkably susceptible to influence. Consider the unsettling power of priming. In one chilling study, participants exposed to words associated with old age, like gray, wrinkle, and retirement, unconsciously walked more slowly when they left the experiment. They had no idea their behavior had been subtly manipulated. Similarly, marketing campaigns expertly employ color psychology, repetition, and subconscious cues to trigger emotions that drive purchasing. That blazing red sale sign? It's designed to instantly evoke urgency and scarcity, compelling you to act now without conscious deliberation. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing, always reacting, even when you swear you're in complete control. But these aren't the only illusions shaping our reality. Illusions of reality, cognitive biases exposed. We all like to believe we see the world exactly as it is, through a clear, unbiased lens. Yet our perceptions are shockingly skewed by cognitive biases, systematic, predictable errors in thinking that fundamentally warp our judgments and decisions. These biases evolved as ancient survival mechanisms, helping our ancestors make lightning-fast choices in dangerous environments. In the modern world, however, they frequently lead us astray, leaving us profoundly vulnerable to persuasion and manipulation. One of the most insidious biases is the confirmation bias, our relentless tendency to seek out information that confirms what we already believe, while effortlessly dismissing anything that contradicts it. This is precisely why political debates rarely change minds. People filter information to reinforce their pre-existing convictions. A truly skilled influencer understands this, presenting arguments in a way that seamlessly aligns with the listener's established views, making persuasion feel less like an argument and more like an affirmation. Then there's the anchoring effect, a silent saboteur of rational judgment. People fixate far too heavily on the very first piece of information they receive when making decisions. Imagine stepping into a luxury watch store. The first timepiece you see is priced at a staggering $10,000. Then you spot another at $2,500. Suddenly, that second watch feels like an absolute steal, even though it's still objectively expensive. This principle is brutally effective in salary negotiations, real estate, and even courtroom verdicts. That initial reference point, the anchor, subtly distorts your entire perception of value. And of course, there's the undeniable pull of social proof. We are fundamentally social creatures, hardwired to look to others for guidance on how to behave. If we see a massive crowd endorsing a belief, buying a product, or following a trend, we instinctively assume it must be the correct path. This is why online reviews, glowing testimonials, and colossal follower counts wield such enormous power over consumer behavior. A person who sees a restaurant overflowing with diners is far more likely to trust that its food is exceptional, even if they've never tasted it themselves. Social proof is a shortcut your brain takes to avoid uncertainty, and those who master it can effortlessly build credibility, attract loyal followers, and sway public opinion. And while logic plays a role, there's a far more potent force at play: emotional engine. While we pride ourselves on being logical, rational beings, scientific research consistently reveals a shocking truth. Emotions drive most of our decisions. The human brain processes emotions faster than rational thought, meaning we often feel before we think. This has profound implications for influence. If you can skillfully tap into someone's emotions, you can subtly guide their decisions without them ever realizing they're being steered. Take, for instance, the primal power of fear. It's a colossal motivator. Political campaigns, insurance companies, and even public health organizations deftly use fear-based messaging to encourage compliance. However, fear alone is rarely enough. It must be expertly paired with a viable solution. If you barrage someone with warnings about a dangerous habit, but offer no clear alternative, they may simply shut down or resist the message entirely. This is why an effective influencer understands not just how to evoke powerful emotions, but precisely how to direct them toward a desired action.
Similarly, the irresistible power of storytelling lies in its unparalleled ability to create deep emotional resonance. People rarely remember cold, hard statistics, but they vividly recall compelling narratives. A company pushing eco-friendly products could bombard you with a dozen facts about carbon emissions. But what truly persuades and moves people is a heartfelt story about a child struggling with asthma in a heavily polluted city. This emotional connection makes the issue feel intensely personal, a far more influential force than any mere number. This internal tug-of-war isn't random. It's a battle between two distinct modes of thought. The dual mind, System 1 versus System 2 thinking. In his groundbreaking work, Thinking, Fast and Slow, psychologist Daniel Kahneman illuminates two distinct modes of thinking that govern our decision-making: System 1 and System 2. System 1 is the fast, intuitive, and automatic processor. It operates effortlessly, making snap judgments based on instinct and past experiences. This is the system you rely on when you react emotionally, follow a gut feeling, or make quick decisions without deep analysis. Crucially, System 1 is the primary target for advertisers, politicians, and salespeople because it is exquisitely vulnerable to emotion, social proof, and subconscious cues. Think of a political speech. It often relies on simple, evocative slogans rather than complex, nuanced arguments. Or consider advertising that focuses on immediate feelings rather than detailed product specifications. This is System 1 at work, bypassing critical thought. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and logical. It demands significant mental effort, carefully weighing pros and cons, meticulously analyzing data, and thinking critically. While System 2 is capable of true rational thought, it is, ironically, quite lazy. It doesn't like to be engaged unless absolutely necessary. Most people genuinely believe they make decisions using System 2, but in reality, System 1 is in control far more often than they ever realize. A master influencer understands precisely how to bypass System 2 and directly target System 1. If you can effectively engage System 1, you can shape people's decisions without them even sensing they are being influenced. Understanding these mental battlegrounds is just the beginning. True mastery lies in leveraging universal psychological triggers. The 6 Pillars. Cialdini's Persuasion Playbook. Persuasion isn't some mystical art form reserved for the naturally charismatic. It's a rigorous science, built upon decades of profound psychological research. While some individuals might naturally exude charm, true influence is rooted in predictable cognitive mechanisms that dictate human behavior. Dr. Robert Cialdini, a leading psychologist in the field, identified 6 universal principles of influence that govern why people comply with requests, shift their opinions, and instinctively follow leaders. Mastering these principles grants you an unparalleled advantage, allowing you to shape behavior with effortless precision. First, reciprocity, the undeniable power of obligation. Humans are hardwired to repay favors and kindness. This instinct stems from deep evolutionary roots. Early societies thrived on mutual cooperation. Today, if someone gives us something, we feel an almost unconscious compulsion to return the favor. This is why charities include small free gifts with donation requests, and why businesses offer free samples. The moment we accept something, an unspoken obligation to reciprocate is triggered. A salesperson offering genuinely helpful advice before a pitch dramatically increases the likelihood of a sale. A negotiator making a small concession first exponentially increases the chances of receiving one in return. The key is to give first, knowing that the instinct to return the favor will subtly work in your favor. Next, commitment and consistency, the formidable power of identity. Once people publicly commit to a belief or action, they feel an intense psychological need to remain consistent with it. Why? Because inconsistency is perceived as weakness or indecisiveness. By subtly guiding someone to agree to a small initial commitment, you pave the way for them to agree to far larger ones later. This is precisely why businesses offer low-risk trial memberships. Once customers identify themselves as users of a product, they are far more likely to continue. In negotiations, getting someone to agree on a minor principle early on makes them significantly more amenable to agreeing on larger issues down the line. The secret to leveraging this principle is to align your persuasion with the person's self-image. If they believe they are a generous person, framing a request as a way to help others makes compliance almost inevitable. Then there's liking, the magnetic power of connection. It's a simple truth. People are far more likely to be persuaded by those they genuinely like and relate to. This is why personal charm, shared interests, and even physical attractiveness significantly enhance persuasive impact. Studies consistently show that similarity plays a critical role. We naturally trust those who appear similar to us in background, values, or personality. Building genuine rapport before attempting persuasion dramatically increases effectiveness. Compliments, active listening, and finding authentic common ground forge a sense of bonding, which subtly lowers resistance to influence. In sales, social settings, and negotiations, establishing likability first makes the entire persuasion process astonishingly seamless. Following that, authority,
the undeniable power of expertise. People are instinctively more likely to be persuaded by those they perceive as experts or figures of authority. This is why credentials, official titles, and even uniforms dramatically amplify persuasive impact. In a chillingly famous study, participants were shockingly willing to administer what they believed were severe electric shocks to others, simply because a scientist in a lab coat instructed them to do so. Authority is one of the most potent tools in persuasion, as people unconsciously defer to those they believe hold superior knowledge or power. To leverage authority, establishing credibility is paramount. This can be achieved through legitimate titles, a strong reputation, association with prestigious institutions, and even subtle displays of confidence. The stronger the perception of authority, the more easily one can persuade. Fifth, scarcity, the urgent power of FOMO, the fear of missing out. The perception that something is limited, rare, or exclusive dramatically inflates its value and desirability. This is precisely why phrases like limited time offer and only a few left in stock create an immediate, compelling urgency in purchasing decisions. Scarcity masterfully triggers loss aversion, making people far more motivated to act to avoid the pain of missing out on an opportunity. To effectively use this principle, emphasize exclusivity, strict time limits, or the unique vanishing nature of what you're offering. When people genuinely believe an opportunity is rare or disappearing, they are almost compelled to take immediate action. Finally, social proof, re-emphasized here for its pervasive influence. As discussed earlier, humans are social creatures who constantly look to others for guidance on how to behave. If we observe a large number of people supporting a belief, buying a product, or following a trend, we instantly assume it must be the correct course of action. This principle is especially potent in situations of uncertainty. When people are unsure, they instinctively default to following the majority. This is why customer reviews, testimonials, and influencer endorsements are so incredibly effective. It's why nightclubs create long lines outside their doors even when the venue is half empty inside. The appearance of popularity makes it instantly more desirable. To master this principle, demonstrate that others already approve of what you are persuading someone to do. The more people who endorse it, the more overwhelmingly persuasive it becomes. Persuasion isn't about brute force coercion. It's about deeply understanding how the human brain makes decisions and then artfully aligning your messages accordingly. By mastering these 6 profound principles of influence, you can shape behavior with an almost uncanny effortlessness. The art of persuasion is, in its essence, a science, and those who truly grasp its mechanics hold the power to influence, to inspire, and to lead with unparalleled impact. But even with these powerful principles, there's another hidden layer to reality itself. Perception is reality, the ultimate control. Perception is reality. This statement isn't just philosophical, it's a fundamental, unyielding truth in the psychology of influence. People do not respond to objective facts, they respond to their interpretation of those facts. 2 individuals can witness the exact same event, yet their perceptions of it can be wildly different, dictated by their unique prior experiences, ingrained biases, and prevailing emotional states. Understanding how perception is formed and how it can be skillfully manipulated is one of the most potent tools of influence. If you can control perception, you can control behavior. The human brain doesn't passively record the world around it. It actively constructs reality. Every decision we make, every emotion we feel, and every belief we hold is meticulously shaped by our internal mental filters. These filters are forged by our upbringing, our culture, our past experiences, and our subconscious biases. A person who has been repeatedly betrayed in the past might interpret a simple delay in communication as an immediate sign of dishonesty. Another person, raised in an environment of unwavering trust, might view that exact same delay as completely insignificant. The external event is identical, but the perception dramatically diverges because perception isn't about what is, but about what it means to the observer. In essence, your brain is constantly bombarded with millions of bits of information every single second. If it tried to process all of this at once, it would be utterly overwhelmed. To prevent this, the brain employs sophisticated cognitive shortcuts, instinctively focusing on what it deems important and filtering out everything else. This selective filtering dictates what you notice, what you ignore, and how you ultimately interpret experiences. Consider the uncanny cocktail party effect. You can be in a densely packed room surrounded by a cacophony of conversations, yet if someone across the room whispers your name, your brain immediately latches onto it. This occurs because your mind has been trained to prioritize personally relevant information. Similarly, when you buy a new car, you suddenly notice that same model everywhere. It was always there, but your brain simply wasn't filtering it into your conscious awareness before. This astonishing selective filtering means that reality is inherently subjective. People only truly see what they are conditioned to see. Skilled influencers master this fact to control the narrative, expertly guiding attention towards certain details while subtly distracting from others. If you can direct what someone focuses on, you possess the ultimate power to shape how they perceive reality. This leads to the art of framing, the psychological principle that the way information is presented profoundly affects how it is perceived. The exact same situation can be viewed in wildly different ways, positively or negatively, solely dependent on how it is framed. This is why politicians, marketers, and media outlets meticulously craft their language to elicit very specific reactions. Imagine you're in charge of a product launch. The ethical imperative. Influence for good. Now, before we delve deeper, let's address the elephant in the room. Can these powerful techniques be used unethically? Absolutely, and chillingly, they often are. Throughout history, politicians, marketers, and manipulators have wielded these very principles to deceive, coerce, and exploit others for their own selfish gain. This is precisely why this journey isn't just about accumulating power, it's about embracing profound responsibility. Influence is a potent tool, and like any tool, it can be wielded for immense good or for terrible harm. A knife can be used to prepare a nourishing meal or to inflict irreparable damage. Fire can warm a home and bring comfort, or it can rage uncontrollably and burn everything to the ground. The same applies with astonishing precision to the power of psychological influence you are now uncovering. You are about to learn techniques that can dramatically impact how people think, how they feel, and how they behave. The moral weight of that knowledge rests squarely in your hands. My unwavering goal in sharing these insights is not to teach you how to manipulate, deceive, or coerce. Rather, it is to empower you, to ensure that you are never the unwitting target of someone else's manipulation, to equip you to recognize when these subtle tactics are being used against you, and most importantly, to provide you with the skills to persuade with unwavering integrity, quiet confidence, and authentic purpose.
The most powerful, respected influencers in the world don't force people, they lead them. They don't resort to tricks or deception. Instead, they create genuine value, meticulously build real trust, and use persuasion as a profound way to help, to elevate, to serve, never to exploit. That is the fundamental, stark difference between manipulation and true influence. One is tragically based on deception, control, and a win-lose dynamic. The other is gloriously built on trust, mutual respect, and authentic alignment, fostering win-win scenarios. So as you progress through this exploration, I issue you a solemn challenge. Use what you learn wisely.
Use it to become a leader whom people naturally respect, not one they fear. Use it to forge win-win situations, never to take advantage of another soul. Because when influence is employed ethically and effectively, it doesn't just help you achieve your desired outcomes, it makes the world a better, more connected, and undeniably more inspiring place for everyone. Your unlocked potential. Are you ready? You now stand at a crucial crossroads. You can continue through life being unknowingly influenced by others, never truly grasping why you say yes, why you trust certain individuals, or why some people seem to command respect the very instant they enter a room. Or you can choose to master the game. You can unlock the hidden psychology behind influence and seize control of your own inherent power. In the chapters that follow, you will unearth secrets that most people will never know. You will gain insights that possess the profound capacity to transform your career, enrich your relationships, skyrocket your confidence, and supercharge your ability to succeed in virtually any situation. But remember, knowledge alone is never enough. You must be willing to apply it, to experiment with it, and to courageously step into a new, more powerful version of yourself, one that influences effortlessly and leads with undeniable purpose. The question is no longer if you will be influenced. The question is, will you wield the power yourself? Let's dive in.